Hey guys, welcome to English 102, Section 72. This is for Summer Session 1. So in this first video, I'm going to just introduce you to the course policies. I know, boring. But the next video, we're going to talk about the schedule, the first assignment, some other stuff, including how to work YouTube, how to work eCampus, etc. So I'm your instructor, Nat Updike. Here's my email. We're not really holding office hours because, of course, it's an online class. But a couple of things about me to start off with, and then I will learn about you guys on part of your homework for today is in the first discussion post. I have been teaching English 101, 102 at WVU for 2 years now. I'll start teaching creative writing in the fall. I'm getting my MFA in creative writing, and I have my master's in literature and a master's in ESL, which is teaching English as a second language. I've taught for the Peace Corps in Columbia. I've taught at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and I taught ESL at a university in Indiana. So I have a couple of years of teaching experience under my belt. Could always use more, and the online class is kind of a unique experience. So I'll probably point out a few differences between the typical semester classes and the online classes as we go. But other than that, welcome, and I'm excited and I'm hoping for a great semester. So the course description, typically during the regular semester, I theme my class. I love The Walking Dead. I love zombies. I love dystopias. I'm definitely a Hunger Games fan, etc. So that will probably pop up throughout the semester. I might mention these things or just make reference to them. So that's kind of why this says all of this in the course description. You can just pretty much ignore it. Let's move on to kind of more useful things for you guys. The 102 textbook is called Joining Academic Conversations. It's the 8th edition, and normally I don't require students to buy a lot of books for my classes. This one will be useful this semester. So when I ask you guys to buy a book, I really want you to buy it. I want you to use it, etc. And I have it on the syllabus a lot. So most of these readings, they're only like 2 to 5 pages long for each day. So I'm not a huge fan of giving you guys a bunch of busy work or any busy work. But this here, specifically because I can't communicate with you in person, this is a good tool, an additional kind of buffer between communication. So it's $20. You can buy it online on this link. The second book, I would say, is a very useful tool, but it's pricey and we're not going to really use it. So I'm not really supposed to tell you that. However, buy the first book, pass on the second. I'll guide you toward online resources which are free. So the GF Foundations, we're going to skip all this. It's the exact same thing. You guys are probably pros. I believe the range of students for this class is freshman through senior. So we're covering all of our bases. In terms of communication with me, email is always the best route. I typically respond within 24 hours. Please just respect that. Just give me 24 hours to respond. I had a student last summer when I taught English 101 online. She would send me an email like every 15 minutes. And so by the time I got around to them, because of course I'm teaching, I'm doing actually 2 other jobs, I'm working on my novel, etc. By the time I got around to them, I had probably 7 or 8 missed emails from her. So again, just it is a fast-paced class, but I will respond to them as quickly as possible. I do get email on my phone, so typically once it pops up, I'll try to email you back right away. But just let you know, give me 24 hours so you don't have to type out 8 different emails. Another thing is don't send me extra papers via email. So I won't really have a lot of time to grade additional revisions other than the kind of 3 drafts that I'm already requiring. So you have the typical original final for now draft, which we'll get to in just a second. You have the midterm portfolio and then the final portfolio. So you're going to get ample feedback anyway. Or if you have a specific question about something like an introduction paragraph or whatever, you can definitely shoot that toward me via email. But entire drafts, there's 16 of you, and I just honestly won't have the time, which is kind of lucky for you because I've already cut out one paper for the summer since it's, again, 6 weeks and we're cramming it from 16. And then I've also revamped the exploratory writing so that you have a little bit less work to do. Just keep that in mind. All right, for classroom etiquette, because it's an online class, tone can be misconstrued pretty easily. So please just always respond to your classmates and to myself with with respect and with enthusiasm. So you can use emojis if you like, which of course are not good for a professional environment, but with an online class and for the purposes of this, for emails or whatever, that's totally fine. I even encourage it. All right, attendance policy. Obviously, you can't come to class, technically, and sit down and, take a quiz or whatever. So it's your responsibility to check eCampus and to check YouTube every day, though. So I would suggest Monday through Friday checking in. And on all of my evaluations for WVU, everything positive they've said, or of the positive things they've said, they said I'm pretty excessive with reminders. So if you don't have something turned in, I will remind the heck out of you, just so that I don't have to give you a 0 in that category, okay? So I'm going to post the homeworks, I'm going to post stuff on the syllabus, etc. You should know what's going on at all times, all right? I really strive to make sure that you are in the loop at all times. Also, if you are going to be gone for, I would say, past 2 days in a row, and you don't have internet access or something, please email me right away and we can talk about options, because this is such a fast-paced class. We have 6 weeks of really condensed material, and I want you guys to do the best that you possibly can. All right, feedback and grades. So if you took English 101 at WVU, it has a very similar system. It's the portfolio-based system. If the portfolio system is completely new to you, it's basically all the writing that you do for your formal writing category, which is this here. All of this writing, you have the entire semester to revise it. So let's say you turn in your annotated bib on Friday, which again is due on Friday. Well, sorry, not again. For the first time, it is due on Friday. We're going to talk about that in the next video. Let's say that you don't complete it, or you don't feel it's the strongest work you could present, or I give you a lot of feedback and you have to change a lot of things. Never fear, because you have until the end of the semester to revise it. So I encourage you revise during midterm, and we'll talk about that with the schedule video. But for the final, and I give you a full week, I introduce it on a Monday, and then it's due Friday at midnight. So I give you that full time to revise for your final. So that's kind of comforting to know that you're always trying to improve your work. You're always trying to progress. For the exploratory writing, so this is where I was talking about earlier, and I said there's a little bit less writing. I've combined essentially participation and exploratory writing. So you'll have 20 discussions, and these are discussion posts, roughly 1/2 page double space. They need to equal 10 minimum pages for exploratory writing. And you can look at all the rubrics here. They'll be in your textbook. So with these, they're pretty informal. Like, I just want you to do them. There's a 0 through 4 grading system. 0 means you didn't turn anything in, and 4 is an A according to, again, this rubric. And the thing with these is they can range from peer review to just questions for the day. Like, I can ask, did you have any questions about the annotated bib? So just complete them, essentially. For participation, there are really only 2 things in terms of participation. So if any of your formal projects are late, that will dock your participation. Another thing is, if your comments or your contributions are not, quote, thoughtful, or you didn't meet the deadline for these drafts, then that's going to dock participation. For exploratory writing, if you are late with these, I'm not going to accept them. So the reasoning here is grades are so quick, the turnaround is so fast in this class that if I'm scrambling to think like, oh, so-and-so had this late and so-and-so had this late, it's going to be too much work, essentially. It's going to be too difficult to try to piece together all 20 of these discussions for 16 students. So for these exploratory writings, they're super short. Again, half page, double spaced. Do them, make sure these are on time. And another thing with these, say you miss 1 or 2, like if you have a 0 out of 1 and then maybe A's and B's on 19 of them, your grade is not going to be dramatically affected. It's going to be an A or B for this year. So the late work for exploratory writing, not accepted. The late work for formal writing is accepted. However, participation grade goes down. So please let me know if you have questions about that. I hope I'm not being confusing or I'm not being non-transparent with the grading policy. So let's move right along. All right, these things here, if you are a person with a disability, please let me know as soon as possible, and we will set up an accommodation. For the library, we're going to be using online resources through them later. Well, WVU, the Caruth Center is a great place to get free help for any sort of situation. Students have a lot of stress. I've been a student myself. I still am a student. I'm also an academic, so just make sure that if you have a need for any kind of mental health issue, you're vocalizing it, you can talk to me always, you can shoot me an email, I will guide you toward the Caruth Center, but I've already done that here as well, okay? So plagiarism, academic honesty, all of these are university policies from pages 3 and 4. So this is, the biggest thing here is, some of you might have taken English 102 before. All of you took some equivalent of English 101. You cannot reuse work created outside of this class. So if you've already written a paper for English 102, a different section of it, it probably won't even apply because our research paper is a little bit different. I tried to make it more applicable to STEM majors, but it's process-based. So I need to see basically your process from the research question and the topic itself all the way to the proofread draft. So that's the reasoning behind this policy. And again, it's not my policy, it is a departmental one, but if you have questions, please let me know. Okay, so the last two things we're going to talk about on this video before there's the second video for today. And also, most of the time, we probably won't have two 15-minute videos equaling 30 minutes. But for the introduction, there's a lot of this kind of rigmarole we have to go through. So the Exploratory Writing Studio is a great place to kind of bounce ideas off of consultants all the way down to having or learning proofreading strategies. So for an online course, if you would like extra eyes on your paper outside of me, your peers, you can send your papers to the director of the studio. This is her email address with just a polite request for assistance. Please give them probably over 48 hours. They have a very low staff in the summer, but they do accept and accommodate for online courses. Okay, so the last thing we'll discuss for this video is the Affirmation of Values. This is a English departmental statement that is response to a lot of issues within writing that have popped up recently. So I want you guys, as part of your homework for tomorrow, is to read the Affirmation of Values, and I want you to think about what this means to you, what this means to your writing. We're trying to create a space, at least within this class, I want to create a space of openness, essentially. And I don't want anyone to feel like they are targeted or left out or etc. So are there any words here that are new to you? I had to look some of them up, okay? So I want you to read this, and there's a discussion post about the Affirmation of Values. But for now, this is the end of this first video. We'll go ahead and hop over to the next video, and welcome to English 102.